Hey guys, Cool to Gray here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be answering the question, is the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus worth it in 2021? Let's find out. So the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus were released back in 2016 as Apple's flagship smartphones. And I want to find out, are they still worth taking a look at in 2021, many years later? Let's find out. So the first phone I want to hit on is the standard iPhone 7. Now, I believe this was like $799 when it was released back in 2016. And today, you can find an iPhone 7 in relatively good condition for about $100 and $125. For the iPhone 7 Plus, you can find the 7 Plus for about $200 in the used market. So about $120 to $200 respectively for both of these phones. So that means that they're relatively inexpensive smartphones. So how much are you getting for your $200? So let's first talk about the display. Now, yes, I know this particular iPhone 7 has a bunch of cracks in it, I know. But let's talk about the display. The display on the iPhone 7, I believe this is a 4.7-inch LCD Retina display at a resolution above 720p. It's about 8-something p. And it has great colors. And I think really the phone works pretty well. The display is relatively good. It's not like 1080p or the OLEDs like we have on newer iPhones, but it is a pretty good display. And, you know, I don't think anybody would notice any problems. For the price that you're paying, this is a great display. But when you step up to the iPhone 7 Plus here, that's when you get the full 5.5-inch 1080p display. So this is still the LCD Apple's Retina display, but it is now a lot bigger. As you can see, it's quite a lot bigger in display size between the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. I would say if you're going to go ahead and buy an iPhone 7, definitely go with the 7 Plus because you're getting that beautiful display. I mean, it's full HD. And it's big. It's big. And honestly, it's a lot wider than today's smartphones. A lot of today's smartphones are very thin and tall. This is a proper big smartphone for people with big hands because it's a very wide display. It's pretty much one of the widest smartphones to ever come out, in my opinion. This is a phone for people with big hands and like big phones. So now that we hit on the display part of this, I want to talk about the performance. How is the performance on these 2016 smartphones? And honestly, it's really good. So the phone is very snappy, and I never, ever notice any lag. I barely ever experience any lag. Maybe when I'm leaving TikTok or using a pretty graphic intensive application. But other than that, this phone will not lag. It's really snappy. Like, let's see here. Let's go to settings and there's no lag. Like, it's still a pretty quick phone. It's not the fastest phone, but it does open stuff relatively quickly with ease. So no worries about performance or lag. Now, with the iPhone 7, of course, you don't get a headphone jack on either of these smartphones. So, I mean, they're kind of up to date in that aspect, I guess you can say. They were one of the first smartphones to not ship with a headphone jack. So, I mean, you can say it's kind of modern for that because almost all smartphones nowadays don't ship with a headphone jack. So I guess you can say that it's modern in that type of way. But other than that, these smartphones pretty much really held up in 2021. Now, talking about build quality, again, you have glass on the front, of course, but you have this aluminum back on both the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And you have this cool matte black color. Now, Apple has really never used this color ever again. I mean, they went back to space gray with the iPhone 8. And, I mean, really, this is I miss this color. It's kind of this matte black, like, I don't know. It's a really nice color. And the iPhone 7 came in pretty much one of the most colors ever on a flagship iPhone. I mean, you had the rose gold. You had the gold, the silver, the black, the jet black, and some other colors that came with the iPhone 7. So the build quality, honestly, is really good because you're getting that aluminum back, so no glass at all. on the back, so you don't have to worry about cracking or anything. One thing I did notice with all iPhone 7s with this the black option color, you can see they like to chip a lot. Now this might be, if you're trying to buy one of these phones on the used market, you'll see, look at all this chipping, right? And that's not just on the 7 Plus. This is also on my normal 7. You can see, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to bring that, but the camera's not focusing. But you can kind of see all of these little dots on the edges. Almost all iPhone 7s with the matte black option, the paint starts to chip on them. So that's one thing to look out for. So let's talk about the camera. So now, on the normal iPhone 7, you get a single 12 megapixel camera. On the 7 Plus, you are getting the dual cameras. So you get the normal 12 megapixel wide angle lens, and you also get a telephoto lens. So again, the phone is kind of modern in that aspect that it has 2 camera lenses. Almost every phone nowadays has more than 1 camera lens. So when you're going for the 7 Plus, you're getting that double camera lens. You also get that telephoto lens. Let's open up the camera here. And honestly, the cameras on these phones are pretty good. So you do have that 10x digital zoom that go up to 2x. You also get portrait mode. I actually never use portrait mode on this phone, but you can see there's your portrait mode. And honestly, this phone has all the modern amenities that your phone would have. It even has 4K at 30 frames per second video. So honestly, the cameras on these phones are really good. Also, the iPhone 7 also has a really good nighttime camera. It's not night mode, but it is. They have pretty good low light cameras. Honestly, that's a big advantage over the iPhone's 6S. Sorry, I had to cut that short. I had to take a phone call. But anyway, these phones are really, really good in 2021. But honestly, they have a couple problems. So these are the problems that you should look out for when you're buying a used iPhone 7. Number 1 is the battery life. The battery on these phones are shot. So on both my iPhone 7, you can see it's on 1%. We get this important battery message. Your battery health is significantly degraded at 74% maximum capacity. All right, as you can see, the battery is shot on this phone as well. When we go to the 7 Plus, we get the same warning. So let's go to battery. And you can also see the important battery message. Your battery's health is significantly degraded. And we have 79% on these phones. So that's one thing to look out for. The batteries on these iPhone 7s over the years have degraded so much. And that's one con of buying an iPhone 7 in 2021 is the battery. Number 2. The next con I want to talk about is the reliability. These phones are some of the most unreliable smartphones Apple has ever made, right? They are really just rigged with a bunch of problems. From day one, when this phone was released, they had a bunch of problems. First problem that is very typical with the iPhone 7 is the microphone. The microphone stops working after a while. Never, again, no other smartphone has this problem, but on this specific iPhone 7 Plus, the microphone is very muffled. I don't know why. It just is. It's not dirty or anything. It just is. Another thing that tends to go out on these iPhone 7s are the top earpiece speakers. Again, I don't know why, but they tend to go out all the time. So microphones, speakers, sometimes the speakers don't work entirely. That's a big problem with these smartphones. Another problem is when you plug headphones in, they don't register the headphones, so they just play out the speakers. So these iPhone 7s are rigged with reliability problems, I've heard. Things just break on these phones. So that's one thing to look out for. But other than those small cons, these smartphones are really good in 2021. For what, $100 and $200 respectfully. These are some of the best smartphones you can buy for that price, in my opinion. They offer great performance. They're still getting software updates. And honestly, if you're going to go get an iPhone 7, I highly recommend the 7 Plus over the normal iPhone 7 because you're getting a way bigger battery with the 7 Plus over the 7. You're also getting that dual camera setup, so it's more modern than the 7. And you're getting a bigger display, which is basically up to today's standards. 5.5 inches on the diagonal. You're getting a better and bigger display, better battery life. I would go with the 7 Plus. Go ahead and spend the extra $100 and get the 7 Plus over the 7 if you're going to get one of these in 2021. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that being said, peace out.